Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to another review of the beginning after the end. I promise that as of the time that I'm recording this, I will post last week's episode. I did edit it, which was not which was the part I was looking forward to the least because then I'd have to relive last week's episode. But it will be out, and this review will come out shortly. This is episode 9, The King Teaches. And I'm really sick and tired of the king does this, the king does that. At this point in the time in the story, we're not focusing on Gray, we're focusing on Arthur. And yes, I know that technically they're the same person, but generally to the reader, they're not. It's just Arthur at this point. Anyway, that being said, we got ourselves a new episode. Let's talk about it. First off, I want to know what the anime onlys thought about it. So, Hoshi, Fenris, what did you think about this episode?
Yeah, Fenris, what'd you think?
What the fuck was happening?
What do you mean? What the fuck was happening?
Dude, it was so disjointed. I got lost like within the first 5 minutes and was having a hard time catching up.
Yeah.
Well, this, I'd say about half of this episode is stuff that they skipped at the end of last episode. Last episode, the twin horns showed up and saw Arthur. No, that's in the anime. That's very different.
Like
It took 2 months
the
for them
only
to show
thing I
up.
really picked up on this was young girl pissed off at family and Arthur for something related to the school. Arthur and her tricking her parents into thinking that she left, and a bunch of arrogant schoolboys who are going to get their shit kicked in.
They combined a bunch of different stuff, and honestly, I think it worked better this way.
Like
This is,
that
th-
that is all I was able to pick up on in this episode because I was just like, the fuck.
okay. I'm 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 not gonna say anything in defense of it until it's my turn to talk. So, Hoshi,
I mean, it was a cute filler episode, I guess.
this isn't filler.
Yeah, that's
It
not
felt
filler.
like it.
None of it is filler.
It felt like filler. It was literally just who fucking cares? I'm sorry, but who cares? It's literally like it doesn't feel like it's moving the plot along. It doesn't feel. It feels like Fenris said it's disjointed as heck. And then like at the post credits, that's what you call it after the
Mm-hmm.
credits or whatever.
Yeah.
We get this guy who's just all hooded figure like and I'm probably a baddie, and he has major fu vibes because he gives me fuckboy energy.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, Moon.
Hmm.
What did you think of this episode?
Uh, it was all right. I understand some of the stuff they were trying to do, but like,
Yeah.
eh.
I'm kind of split on this episode because I think they did a lot. They took a storyline that was minor and actually made it more. So they actually did something that went beyond what the source material did. And
I
it's the first
think it
time
would.
that I think they did that.
I
But
think it would
also
have
at the
been
same
fine if
time,
it stayed minor.
no. No. All right. Again, I'm going to disagree on this, and I think it's because I have a bit more context on the story. But, like, this character isn't they're still minor, but they're nowhere near as minor later on. She isn't, but like, yeah. I There are things that I wish they hadn't taken their time on, and there are other things that I'm glad they took their time with. So,
Well, my thing is I know she is important later and
mm-hmm.
stuff, but like this particular part of the story just wasn't that big of a deal, especially because Arthur, he did exactly what happened. He was just like, well, what would you say if I could absolutely guarantee they could get magic? And then
Well,
her parents were like, what? And she was
there's a
happy.
there's a couple of things that I think that they did differently that I didn't like, and there's because I have to go because I'm gonna have to skip. I realize I'm gonna have to skip through a bunch of stuff that was not in this episode. And I'm wondering if they skipped it entirely or they're showing it next episode. And I'm like, why? Why did you do it this way? But also, I like that we gave more time to Lilia.
They're going.
All
They're
right,
gonna have to start calling at the beginning after the catch up.
you ready to see? You ready to see how it went
Get
in
some
the other
fries
version?
with it, please.
Huh?
Can I get some fries with it, please?
Would you like some context at least? All right, so here we go. So Arthur getting woken up. By the way,
We're not seeing
keep
that.
You're not seeing that? Is
Nope.
it not screen share? Oh, wait. I have to swap screens because it went to the other. Okay. Because I had to pull up different. I had to pull up a different. I dragged this into a new window instead of just being a tab. So I had to make sure I got the right window. Okay. Arthur being woken up by Sylvie. Also, keep in mind, guys, that this is literally, pardon me, this is literally the next day after he got home and the twin horns have not shown up. All that's happened is he got home, he saw his parents, he met the Helsius, he fought his dad in the yard. That's all that's happened so far. All right. And Sylvie wakes him up and immediately smells her. This is more or less the same. I still think that the comic does it better. Like just with the this no. All right, and then we get. Also, instead of being happy that they're clean, they're like, "I can't believe you put me in that water." It's that kind of vibe. And then Ellie comes, wakes him up, or comes to get him. Also, I did notice that she had like that kind of the brother, like her way of talking sounded like young and I guess cutesy. Even in the Japanese, I was able to pick up some of those. So, good job on that, I guess. So they go down to eat breakfast. It's the next morning, and of course, now that there's food involved, look at the little happy dragon. All right. So yeah, they had to do the whole thing of taking him out because they got to get him. All right. So what was happening in the beginning was they went shopping because they dragged him into going shopping because they needed him to get some clothes and a haircut because they
2 bits.
no, not a shave and a haircut, just clothes. But anyway, yeah, as they're shopping, he kind of looks in, does some window shopping, and he's like, "Hey, what are those?" And they're like, "Those are beast cores." That's an important thing. He has a beast core and a beast will. And they talk about, hey, if a beast core has a beast will, it can go for hundreds of golds, if not thousands. What the heck? So we're starting to understand a little bit of the monetary system here. But anyway, the whole point is he doesn't have any clothes of his own, and he needs to get a haircut. Honestly, I thought they handled this part well, like, because that was literally the joke. Arthur, dear, your hair is atrocious. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. Also, all right, the expression on Arthur was way funnier in the comic. I'll be like, but this is like the flawless gem he is. Arthur Lewin. Ah! Internal screaming. I feel ridiculous. No, honestly, yeah, he gotta say, looks ridiculous. I think the outfit was better in the anime, honestly.
Mm.
Good enough to be Ellie's brother now. Yeah. Fine. Okay, so they went out clothes shopping. All right, so you see students picking on an owner, and that's literally supposed to be it for the Zyrus Academy students. And she's talking about, like, a lot of them are jerks and whatnot. Oh, okay, so here's the other part. So instead of her running off to the Beast Core shop, they were just sitting there talking, and then he disappears, and I love the whole bounces away like a dog.
Hmm.
He's like a puppy. Yeah. Okay, that's the... It's a bit more comforting for me to see him more like a kid, especially after last night's spectacle. Yeah, there's just remembering him fighting. Also, I love. This is the other thing I missed. Like all of them, kind of like, oh yeah. So it's like all the girls, including Sylvie, but they're like, oh yeah, I'm really worried about Arthur. But he goes to a weapon shop instead, and he's looking at the swords and stuff. And instead, all right, so at least this guy looks kind of. Oh, he was the shop owner. No, okay, in this version, he's not the shop owner. That's a thing that's different. And he's talking down to him like, hey, this isn't a place for brats. This isn't a toy store. There's a candy store just outside. And he's like, dude, I'm well aware. I know what a fucking sword is. Apologies. And what it ends up being is like, he's an offended noble that starts talking off. He says, hands off my son. And then he starts going, I'm Ignatius from House. And then he realizes, Helstia? And to be fair, this is pretty one-note basic shit. So I actually kind of liked it better that they covered, instead of showing two different things, they just combined this. The whole Academy students thing. Instead of like some just arrogant noble that could have been any freaking noble. Like, yeah. I actually like them using the Academy students instead, because it actually sets up, hey, the Academy's full of pretentious jerks.
Very true.
I also like them spending time on Lilia's insecurities with how she feels with not being able to use magic, and Arthur being like this prodigy and everything. Like, I like that they spent time on that. I think they spent a little too much time on it, but I'm glad that they did at least spend time on it, because that doesn't really happen here. This child, yeah, almost called him a brat in front of his parents. How dare you? Oh, and they waited until the end this time, but you know, Mr. F.U. jerk in the hoodie thing that you were talking about?
Mhm.
Okay, well, you meet him here. And
Well, we also got to see him in, I think, a different episode. I think.
No, not him. Not
No?
him.
Okay.
No.
Maybe I was thinking of the last time we ran through this.
Yeah, we were probably thinking of a recap, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is all skipped content that was technically, if we're going by the appropriate timeline, this technically should have been in last week's episode. We could have done just this stuff in last week's episode, but they decided to make a bigger deal out of Lilia. But there you go. You meet him, and he's staring at Sylvie. That's all we get. All right, so they get home, and this is where things changed. Another way that things changed. All right. Vincent is overeager and has called in Cynthia Goodsky, the head of the academy. Like, she's the Dumbledore of this academy, in a way. You know?
Mhm.
And so,
Dumbledore?
yeah, Dumbledore.
Well, now it's Dumbledore.
Dumbledore.
The Explorer?
Severus
Exactly.
Snape. Dumbledore. This is all the shit that I have to skip. Okay, hold on. This is the only time. This is where you actually see it. Because, like, he went overboard and called in the academy president or whatever, right? To test him. And then you see that face on Lilia. And then you get that face on Lilia. And that's all we essentially get out of this. And the other thing is, Arthur wasn't, like, he wanted to spend more time. Love that. Let's test him. Can I at least get dinner? Ah! So, yeah, like, Arthur wasn't down for this. It's just like, the guy jumped the gun. And honestly, if this had happened that way, I think everybody would have understood Lilia's feelings a bit more. Especially if they came home and it's like...
Yeah, her
literally,
outrage
we
would have
felt
been
like
more justified.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he does a test that we're gonna skip over. Blah 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 blah. Won the what? Okay, why? Okay, episode 40 demonstration. Okay. And so much stuff happens in that short time. So blah blah blah. He does his little demonstration, and he says he hasn't told his parents yet, but he wants to do a thing. And then an argument happens because of the thing he said he wanted to do. And I'm trying to skip as much of this as I can because this is probably going to be in the next episode. If they skip all of this, that's going to be really annoying. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, now to the last part. Okay, she's still feeling bad. We haven't even gotten to the training and teaching them stuff. Hold on. Hold on. This is what I was talking about. They fight over meat. It's mine. No, it's mine. Besides, he's smart enough to manage the rest on his own. I think. I freaking love these moments, man. All right, anyway. Okay. Okay, deal. This is where they skip to. So we had all that stuff with Cynthia Goodsky. Then we had like a whole conversation about something else that I can't talk about. And then we get to the deal. And this is the part where it bothers me because Arthur actually goes and seeks him out. Skipping through. Also, they went on a shopping trip, and this time Arthur was like, "No, I'm not going with you." He learned from last time. He's like, "Nope, you're just gonna like make me carry everything, and I don't wanna." Oh my goodness! Trying to skip through on the sides. Oh, there somebody is. It's not the same dude. Different dude. I don't know how much time they're going to spend on this. Okay, so we get to the actual deal part. This is the part they skipped. 2. And also cut some of this out. I love it. He's in his office. They're just having tea. Sort of situation is this. This is one of the things I was looking forward to because he's just sitting there. And what sort of 8-year-old boy gives off such a strong presence that I'd be more nervous than when I was talking to the king of Sapin? This is kind of how they refer to Gray. We get reminded, oh yeah, he's a former king. Like that's how they do it. Just like that. They don't and every time they're not showing Gray, they're showing Arthur.
I don't know, dude. The anime's making pretty sure we don't forget he was a king.
Yeah, fucking I hate that. And then he's like, "Thank you for the tea." He's so different compared to when he's with his family. Is this true demeanor? Of course. Anyway, the reason for my sudden intrusion is because I'd like to ask you to retrieve a few items for me. Right? And without talking about what any of that is, it's, he goes, "Yeah, I could definitely try, but wait, I'm already buried in work for anniversary, but why am I so eager to please this boy? Thank you. I asked for compensation. While I don't think I have money, I did have a way to repay you for your help." It's fine. It's fine. Your father has been blah, 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 blah. Okay. Still, one of the things I wanted to do was help my sister hasten her awakening with a method that I discovered recently. While I'm helping her, I can help Lilia as well. Excuse me? So it doesn't become a thing. Like, he's like, all right, let's make a deal. I need stuff. I can help your daughter awaken as a mage. And that's kind of how it works. And honestly, I preferred this one a bit more to how they did the other one because it's just, I don't know why they're taking the sassiness and the smugness of away from Arthur. Also, the beginning of the episode starts with this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're on chapter 38. Most of the stuff that they covered in the episode is from chapter 33. So Arthur's day off starts with chapter 33, and then we skip a bunch of stuff because they skip Cynthia Goodsky. So there we go. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at, and it's like, dude, okay. So I'm just kind of thrown off. Okay, so, and this is the same day. He just did it during the afternoon. Oh, we're getting flashback. Okay. Are they going to show flashback at all in the next episode? See, all they've done is talk about, like, him as a king versus before he became a king. And there's a lot going on there. Like, Gray's previous life does very much affect Arthur, but it's less his time as a king and more of his time before he was a king and his training to become king that are the things that are the important bits. So it's like, okay, I don't mind that you focus on Gray, but you're focusing on the wrong parts of Gray. Except for that part in episode 2 where he, like, the killing of the family and he realized how important family was. That was a good addition. Other than that. But, like, yeah, I agree. And now you see how disjointed this is. They come home and her dad's elated because also that face. Jesus. That's like Pac-Man with hair and glasses. But yeah, they're like, hey, even as a joke, this isn't funny. What are you talking about? You'll give my daughter magic. He's like, I'm not joking. I can do it. And this is just proud papa and daughter go ahead. Please let me. You know what this is? You know what this is? This is Evil and Tuttle. If Tuttle actually cared about his kids.
Okay.
No, all right. So Vettel, this if Vettel was a doting, if he was a doting dad, or at least pretended to be, and this is Evil and Neuro right there, just like get off me. But yeah, so everything more or less kind of goes the same. He sits them down, teaches them how to breathe, and also I like how like around Sylvia is for this. Like, are you okay? You're like, yeah, teaches them a special way to breathe, and the fun part is like convincing Ellie, and it's like, hey, keep going and until you see like these little lights, and pretty lights, they're gone because you stopped. I can't see them yet. It's okay. Take your time. Oh, pardon me. And then we actually get the breathing and the magic stuff going, and so slowly he's awakening them, and it does take time, and it is a lot of effort on his part, which is something that wasn't shown. And they're immediately like, will she become a mage? She's like, it'll take a few years, but if I can do this with them for the first few months to get them on their feet, Lilia shouldn't have a problem becoming up. And immediately, this means a lot to them, and you see it more from this. But like, yeah. That's the face. We just need to leave it there. That's the face right there, buddy. All right. This is the face of all the comic and the novel readers when they go back and they reread this area and don't have to see this episode. That's what like I'm very back and forth because I think there are some things they did good and there are things that I wish they hadn't done. It's like, why did you change it? But also I'm glad you changed this one part. You know. That's where I'm at right there. Yeah. So, with a little bit more context versus how things went with the anime, and I can understand if some people are not okay with like how they overly focused on Lilia. And like, trust me, I get it.
I don't have a problem with them focusing on Lilia. I have a problem with how they decided to do it because, again, it just made this all feel very disjointed.
Yeah, if they had just done like this part in the shop and done it that way, and I'm like, oh, that's an interesting way to change the shop. And they just kept going with like how the webcomic did it. As soon it's like, oh man, we just had this interesting conversation. Gets home, Dad.
Yeah.
I brought the headmaster, and it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah. And again,
Yeah.
that would have made her outburst a lot more like understandable, a lot more.
yes,
Because that's literally going above and beyond for someone he doesn't even know to just be like, you should go to this academy.
literally a dude that you met yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that being said, now that you have a little bit of comparison with the webcomic, how does that change your thoughts on this episode? Does it make you hate the episode more, like the episode more? How do you feel about it?
I'm still confused as fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even with the webcomic, you think it feels fillery and disjointed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, everything has highs and lows, I guess.
I mean, there hasn't really been one high since.
No, there was one high, which was Virian yelling at the old lady.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no, that's not true. No, for Hoshi, literally screaming at us as soon as she was like, "I called it. I knew it was an egg. Ah, it's so cute."
Okay, fine. After
True.
that, everything is just crash and burn, and we're slowly going into the dirt. And now we're below the dirt.
Look, I can confirm at least part of next episode will be kind of funny.
If everything goes the way we think it'll go.
I just need someone's leg to explode.
If it is the auction house, then yes. But honestly, I think the auction house is going to be episode 11. 12 is going to be the getting everything and starting off the.
You're assuming they haven't changed the order again.
Is this
Also
a
true.
12
Also true.
episode?
Well, what I'm thinking is
anime?
next episode is literally going to be all the shit that was skipped in this episode.
Is this a 12 episode?
Yeah, it's a 12 episode.
Okay. But also, no, I don't think they're going to have a deal with the dad. Because what does he have as a bargaining chip now?
Who? What? Oh no, he can still contact Goodsky.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
The items that he asks Lilia's dad to get are important because they were
Yeah.
both items for him, and so it's not going to have that deal. If anything, it would probably just be the dad being like, "I'm so grateful. I'm going to give you items."
Well, the 2 items that he asked for, well, technically 3.
Yeah, it was the mask,
The mask, the cloak,
cloak,
and a sword.
sword. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how they're gonna handle this because they fucked it up.
Mm-hmm. They have fucked up a lot.
Yeah. But yeah. So how is it odd for you guys, and how is it disjointed? Because I don't feel like I get that necessarily because of like I was expecting the pace and everything to change as soon as he got to his parents. Like even when I was first reading, I was like, okay, he got back to his parents. He's not going to be jumping into powering up and improving and all that stuff. He's going to want to spend time with his family. And so we're going to get kind of some of the slow down daily life kind of story here. So I was kind of expecting that. Were you guys not when this part came around? Were you expecting like the
Honestly, I
continuation of
quit
the road?
expecting anything from this anime.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me,
It's
it's
funny
not the
how-
pacing. It's just kind of how it went about some of this stuff.
Oh, no, we definitely had a
Oh,
different
let me rephrase
perspective
that.
going in.
Let me rephrase that. I stopped expecting anything but the anime to continuously remind us that Arthur is king.
Fair.
Okay. Well, funny enough, this episode didn't really shove that in our throats for once. So, yay.
Which is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Aside from the name.
We actually.
Aside from the episode name.
Aside from the episode name, which that's just the whole convention of this thing. For the love of God, please let us find out that there's AI shit or like they stole from somebody or something like that, because like that would be the only saving grace of like getting this anime picked up by a different studio and just redone completely. Be like, we'll show you how to do it. Like,
Oh, that
please.
reminds me. Yeah.
Let Studio
Most of the
Trigger
music
do this
felt like
shit.
royalty-free medieval YouTube music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they use a lot of the same themes for places that you should not use that theme. Like it feels out of place. All right.
So like one thing, why were they throwing the thing on the statue's finger? That didn't need to be
idea.
there.
No idea.
Exactly.
And-
And like just it just feels weird. A lot of how this episode went.
Honestly, if the stuff you learned from the webcomic, if you're like, oh, the webcomic felt disjointed, there's a reason for that. I had to skip so much shit because I'm pretty sure it shows up in the next episode. If I actually went through the webcomic and showed you and just said, fuck it, spoil it,
It
and
would
let
be
you
better.
guys just go, it would honestly feel a lot better. It'd feel much more natural. Like,
And that's kind of the same problem we have here. Also, I think part of the disjointed feeling comes from like everything up to this point. Arthur and he is a king. Let's take a whole episode for Lilia.
it's like I don't
I mean,
mind
that's
giving
part
her.
of it.
I didn't mind giving her a bit more when she was in the shop. I was like, oh,
It's
that's
yeah,
really good.
It's
That's
okay
really
giving
interesting.
her more time.
Yeah.
She is a big part of it, and she becomes
like,
more
fleshes-
important later.
That fleshed out her character quite a bit more.
But this was a hard right turn that they told
Yeah.
no one about.
After like not doing the main story any justice, we're like, hey, let's fuck up this character too.
Yeah.
So part of the disjointment for me comes from, okay, beginning, you got Arthur giving the cat a bath. I refuse to call it a dragon right now because it's acting more like a fucking cat.
Mhm.
It can be both.
And then, okay, make the transition from there makes sense because they're bringing him into town to, get his makeover, get his glow up, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Honestly, we
yeah.
didn't
And
need
then
that
suddenly
scene
they're
with
throwing
the
something
haircut
onto
person.
a finger. You got these academy kids flirting with Arthur. That's
what
the
it
way
looked
I
like.
took it, by them tossing whatever the fuck that wedding thing is at his head.
I don't think that needed to be there, but honestly,
It
I don't
really
think they were
didn't.
flirting with Arthur. They were picking on him, like
Trying
literally
to.
because he's not a mage. They are trying to, because
It would
they
have
don't
been
know that
one
he's a mage or anything like that. They think they're better than it, so they're just like, oh yeah, this thing we were trying to stick. Like, think of it
So-
like this.
Nope.
Okay, fine.
No, okay, there
Richie.
was no fucking explanation about what those things were. To me, they looked like something straight out of a fucking marriage. They're trying to throw it onto a finger on a statue, and next thing you see is a bunch of these kids are throwing one at his head.
And it clearly wasn't being thrown hard or anything, and it didn't even look like it was being thrown with malice. It was just like, haha, you have a ring on your head.
Okay.
And then back to I think right after that they found that fucking Beast Core shop.
Mhm.
Then back to it was either back to the house or the fucking cafe, and then
They're at the
immediately
cafe.
and then immediately cuts into the Beast Core shop with Lilia and Arthur. I'm just like,
Well,
why are you here?
Okay. Apparently, there was something that you did miss in the show. Like, she ran off there and she explains why she was there. She said she had enough
like
money
I
from
said
her
at the
allowance
beginning.
to buy one.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of this review, I was playing catch up for most of it because I was trying to figure out what the fuck was happening.
Okay, so maybe another rewatch. Even though
Yeah,
doubt
no,
we will.
I'm not subjecting myself to that.
Okay.
I'd rather shoot myself in the foot. Like, honestly, the only reason I'm still watching this is for the reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've said it, I think, around episode 4. If I was watching it by myself, I would have dropped this anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Mhm.
In that case, anybody else want to continue with this show with the reviews and stuff?
Not really.
There was a little Spanish flea, a record star, he thought he'd be.
All right, and now that we've had that entertaining bit of Homer Simpson, I'm not going to do a review next week. I'm going to wait until the last episodes are up, and then I'm going to review the last couple episodes. If you guys would like to replace the Wednesday watch-alongs, maybe keep it at the same time, but we go over the comics instead. Like we actually go over the comics.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm all
We
for
could
it.
either go over the comics, or if we wanted to, we could probably just switch to a different anime. So
Well, the problem is,
We
that
would
would not
have to
happen on
see what
Wednesday.
comes out next season for
Yeah.
Wednesday
I'm
release.
not. I'm not
Okay, fair.
switching to another. I'm not switching to another anime until next season, because like the stuff that I want to watch, I've already started watching. Now, to be
Yeah.
fair, if other people have seen it and they want to gush about it, I'm here for that too, because that's beautiful. But I'd rather do
Like
that
Brilliant
live.
Healer. Wonderful anime. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, the Healer in the Shadows. That's good.
Mhm.
But what was the other one? Oh God, I'm trying to think of it. I know it's on my list. I know it's like pulled up. The Two Perfect Saint. The Two Perfect Saint. That's really good. I want to talk about that.
I haven't started that one, but I plan on
Good.
it.
It's good. It's good. I think Hoshi and I were talking about it.
What one?
The Two Perfect Saint.
Oh yeah, I really want to watch that. I've been like
I thought you said you
waiting.
watched it.
Not yet. I need to.
Ah!
All right.
But I will definitely watch it. I
All right,
I don't care if I have to start and
next
fucking watch it.
Wednesday-
Like, let's
next
go.
Wednesday, we're either gonna do a review of the comic, or we're just gonna sit down and watch that show. So yeah, we'll figure out how we want to do it. Honestly, I'm wondering if we should record these or just do like a live show after we watch like an anime. Just jump over on Twitch and go live, so we don't have to worry about this stuff.
honestly, I think live would probably do well, because
Live
then we
would
could
be
also
better
just
because-
immediately export it to YouTube and just
Export it over to the VOD channel. Yeah.
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 So I'll put up a poll or something. Maybe we'll do that for next time around. We'll just do the VOD channel stuff, because that's
Yeah.
guys, waiting on me to try and edit these videos is going to be a pain in the butt, especially when it's episodes that I do not like and I don't want to relive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. That being the case, final verdict out of 10. How many monocores for this episode, Hoshi?
I guess 6.
Okay. That's higher than I thought, but all right. Yeah, go for it. Fenris.
5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm at a 5 too.
I was being generous.
I'm at a 6. There were things that I did prefer, but there was a lot of stuff that I honestly was expecting like 3s and 4s from you guys based on the discussion, but okay. I'm
Like,
kind of surprised. Yeah.
just because I got, you know, just because I don't really like and understand what the hell's happening because of the pacing issues, doesn't mean that the parts that I was able to understand or certain parts weren't cute, wholesome, enjoyable.
Right.
It's just they're few and far between.
Gotcha. All right. That being said, we will see you guys whenever the next time is, because we're trying to figure this out. Take care and bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Yeah.